Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And if you can't tell, this is a car vlog. And I haven't done a car vlog on this channel for a while. If you watch my other channels, I do lots and lots of car vlogs. In fact, I'm vlogging every day of the year for the year 2017. I'll probably do 2018, 2019. I'll probably do it until I'm no longer on this planet, I hope. Because I have so much fun doing it, and I'm showing my life, and a lot of it is just actually car vlogs where I'm going around talking and things like that. So it would mean the world to me if you guys would go follow that channel. But I wanted to do this little car vlog today because when I started BookTube, I used to just get on camera and just talk to you guys. And I miss doing that so much. And part of the problem is that I haven't been reading a whole lot lately. And if you watch my last video, I talked about how I'm trying to catch up on all of the books that I haven't read, and it's 8 books, right? So I can get those down, and then I'm gonna just read one audiobook, or just listen to one audiobook and read just one book, because I think I can do that. And then if I do readathons, I'm gonna do readathons completely different this time, I think. I'm gonna if I go in and I have 7 books, I'm gonna read one book, finish it, one book, finish it, one book. Does that make sense? I'm not gonna just read 6 books at the same time. Although that was a lot of fun in the readathons in the past, like BookTubeathon, it is really what got me started on this road to having so many books, but that were unfinished, which has nothing to do with why I wanted to do this video today. Because I am really excited for BookTubeathon, and I don't even know if you guys know of other upcoming readathons that are. I don't know which ones are coming up yet. So let me know in the comment section below. I do know that there was a lot of drama going on in the BookTube community, and I'm kind of glad I stayed out of it a lot. I'm not going to say that I don't have an opinion about it, but I think for me sometimes, because I am such an opinionated person, I think that unless I really have a strong stance on something, I maybe need to just sit back and respond. I don't always have to be part of the discussion, you know what I mean? I can just kind of sit back and watch it and go, okay, and support this and support that. You know what I'm saying? I don't always have to be part of the drama or the discussion, because that's ego-centered, and I don't need to do that. So anyway, but actually what I wanted to talk about today was how we get interested in buying, or how I get interested in buying books or purchasing books. And it was really funny because I just actually, this girl, Bunny Cakes is somebody that follows me on all of my channels and tweets me and constantly, and she made the most adorable gift for my 3 dogs. I'm not going to say what it is on here. You're going to have to go watch my daily vlog channel if you want to find out, but it's hands down the most creative thing I have ever gotten, as a result of being on BookTube or YouTube or whatever. I love it so much. And I didn't even at first, I was what is this? And then I was oh my God. But anyway, so I was going to her Twitter today, and she had put on there, I think she originally started watching me. Is it so dark on this video? Okay, well, sorry. I think she had originally started following me, watching my BookTube videos. And then I think it kind of carried, I'm just guessing, I don't know, because her Twitter seems very filled with books and things like that. And she had this new book by this guy, I do not remember what it's called, but I think it's called Robot Boy. And it's this gay young adult book. Anyway, I didn't know anything about this book. And I instantly went to the writer, he has a Twitter page, and he's a really cute guy, and he has another book coming out after that, and so I was oh, I want to go to Barnes & Noble and find out about this book, I want to see what the deal is with this book. And so I'm going to do that after I make this video. And so that was one thing. I was isn't it interesting that when somebody tweets something out, or it gets you interested? I would never know about half the books that I get interested about if I didn't see somebody else that I like that person. So if they're reading something, I trust their judgment. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Or if they're talking about a book, it makes me want to read it. It's I really think the best marketing for books I don't know about other products, but for books, is really word of mouth and carrying that book around with you. Have you ever wanted to read a book just because somebody carried it around? Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. First, I'm going to put on my Dr. Pepper lip chapstick gloss. But anyway, I just got over being sick for 4 days and it sucked. All right, when I talked about this in my vlog, but Alex and I, my husband, we went to go to eat brunch on Sunday at Cafe Patachou in Indianapolis. And Cafe Patachou is like one of my favorite restaurants. I've talked a lot about it on here. And it's like this very like bright, very clean, like breakfast brunch. It's just brunch. And it's open from like 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. or to 3 p.m. And we always go late. And no matter when you go, no matter if you go at 7 a.m. or if you go at 2 p.m., it is like absolutely packed, right? So we go, and there's probably in there, oh, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 40 or 50 tables. And it's loud and busy, and it feels very New York. But anyway, we were there on Sunday, and I was like drinking my coffee, and Alex and I were talking, and I like looked over, and this is a Sunday at about 2 o'clock, right? And there's like this guy sitting, and he's probably 30, I would say, and he's like sitting at this table, hubba, very cute, and he's sitting at this table all by himself, literally in the middle of the restaurant, okay? 4-top table, all by himself, and he's drinking coffee, and he's eating like French toast. They have the most incredible croissant French toast in the world. But anyway, he's eating like French toast, and he's drinking coffee, and he has this big glass of orange juice. And he's kind of like a little hipsterish looking, but like hipster / jock. You guys are like, why are you even telling us this? Because I just was intrigued. Like, do you ever like see somebody out and you're like intrigued by them? Like you like wonder who they are and like, why are they like sitting in this restaurant all by themselves? And it was interesting because there was a woman sitting right next to us, and she was eating brunch all by herself too. And I thought, God, on a Sunday to eat brunch all by yourself, like that takes balls of gold. Like I kind of wish I was like that a little bit. I like to go out and eat by myself, but like maybe not on a Sunday at 2 o'clock brunch hour. So anyway, I noticed that, I wish I had a book in my car and I would show you, but I noticed that he was like leaning down on like one knee reading. He had on like these really cool running shoes, like this flannel shirt, and his hair was like kind of like shaved on the sides and falling over, and he just looked like that bookish guy, you know, like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like that bookish guy that you see, or that bookish girl that you see, or woman, and they're like sitting at Starbucks reading, or they're like sitting on a bench in the park, or just like somewhere, and they just look like they are so into loving the book. And like in that moment, it's like this unspoken language between you and that person, because you totally get like how much they love to read. And this guy like did not even like, I mean, like when the waitresses would come up and stuff, he was like, you could tell he was real friendly and be like, oh hi, you know, whatever, no, I'm good, whatever. But like he was so into this book, like so engrossed. And I'm like, I said to Alex, I was like, do you see this guy over here? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, he's like cute. And I was like, I know, he's like sitting in the middle of this restaurant and he's like reading that book. And I was like, I don't understand how he can sit there. Like my ADHD and ADD is like so off guard, as you can tell from my videos, that I was like, I don't understand how he can sit in the middle of this restaurant and not be completely distracted, right? We sat there for like 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, he literally was just like into this book. And I was like, what is he reading? I have to know what he's reading, right? Because if you're like bookies like us, like, you know, like if we're into books, you want to know what the person's reading. Like, what are they so into that they are like so not distracted in the middle of this bustling restaurant? I loved it, right? So anyway, when we were walking out, I like leaned down and he was reading Neil Gaiman's Stardust, of which I've now been on the search for 2 days since then. I've gone to like 4 bookstores. I can't find it anywhere. It came out in like 2006 or something. But anyway, I just think it's like interesting, like people that I see, like it's so strange, like, you know, and I'm married and I'm very happily married, but that doesn't mean that if the restaurant's closed, you can still look at the restaurant or the menu, right? I say that all the time. But what is interesting to me is that like when I see people and like if they're reading a book, it makes them 10 times more attractive to me. Do you feel that way? Like especially if you see somebody that's reading something that like, I don't know, like I don't want to put like any books down, but I'm like, if I saw somebody and they were reading a book and they were reading like, I don't know. Like, I don't even want to say 50 Shades of Grey. You know, I probably wouldn't be real moved. But if they were sitting there reading like Salinger, especially like 9 Stories, or like Franny and Zoe, or if they were reading like, you know, like a tattered copy of To Kill a Mockingbird, I would be like, oh my God, that, I don't even care if that person physically looks like I would be like, oh my God, they're so sexy, right? But then it makes me want to like read even more. And so when I see people reading in public, like that is such a great marketing tool. If I was Simon & Schuster, I would just pay people to go sit in public and read. Because as a lover of books, as a reader, when I see somebody sitting with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or like a smoothie and they're sitting there reading and they're so engrossed into the book, I'm like, oh my God, I have to have that book. I don't even give a shit what the book's about. Like, I have to have that book. What is it that they're so into in that book? Do you guys feel the same way? I think it's so funny. Anyway, and have you found other books that way? And what's so funny is that, like, you know, the majority of us, let's be honest, are probably a little shy if we're book people, you know? Like, we love to get into books. We love to, like, become friends and family with the characters, but we get a little, like, unnerved when we're actually, I have tons of social anxiety. I know it's hard to believe. Joking, but I do. And so, like, for me to like go out in public and be like, oh, what are you reading? Like, that's just not who I am, right? Like, that's just not of my nature. So it's funny to me that like I'm so like, I was not leaving that restaurant until I found out what he read. Do you know what I mean? Are you guys like that? So anyway, if you guys have ever found a book because somebody else is reading it out in public, let me know what the book is in the section below. And I think we should all, as spring comes around and it's nicer weather outside, I think we should all put on our cutest garb, whatever it is, and go sit somewhere in public. I mean, it's why so many like young adult books, there's always like this very like indie, bohemian dressed person, and they're always like at a bookstore reading. It's because that's so attractive to us. That's why writers put those characters in books, because it's like so attractive to us, right? Like, that's who we want to fall in love with, is that bohemian, artsy, indie person. It's like Jandy Nelson, I'll Give You the Sun. She is like totally incorporated. She has like figured that character out perfectly, you know? And that's why I love, listen, I know a lot of you don't, but like, that's why I love reading contemporary romance. Because I couldn't fall in love with that guy in high school, you know, and that breaks my heart a little bit. Like, when I was in high school, nobody was out. It wasn't okay to be gay, you know, like, people had huge issues with it. And so, like, God, if I could like go back to high school, go back to 18 and like recreate who my boyfriend would have been at the time. Well, I know who he would have been, but he doesn't know that. And he was real artsy. He skated, he had a skateboard, and he was always reading. And we would talk about books, like, and he would like ask me, he'd be like, well, what's that book you're reading? And I'd be like, The Sun Also Rises. I was so like embarrassed. Like, I just was so shy in high school, you know? He's not even gay. He's married and has kids, but he does live in San Francisco, which I think is funny. And he was a year below me. God, he was so cute. I don't know why, like, I don't talk about people's names on here. I just totally should, you know? Like, why would it matter? His name was Brian. He's still cute as shit. I don't think he has kids, but he's actually, I do know that he's married because I see him on Facebook. But nobody that I went to high school with watches my videos, so it doesn't really matter. So he'll comment, like, wouldn't that be so funny if he commented on there and he'd be like, I had a crush on you too. I would love it. I'd be like, what are you reading? And he'd be like, Stardust by Neil Gaiman. And I'd be like, oh my God, this video was supposed to happen. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I'm really trying to get back to making more videos on this channel because I really miss it. I love it so much. And they maybe even just like rambling videos like this. This is really kind of how I started, was just making rambling bookish videos on here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go be that cute bookish guy. As if. All right, guys. Talk to you later. I love you. Bye.